If you're into retro games, you'll know many companies out there will repackage older titles onto newer platforms, keeping the game available to those who want to experience the game all over again. Compilations and collections are very popular these days and, if done correctly, can offer great value for the player while providing hours of nostalgic fun at the same time. Another good reason for these bundles and compilations is to entice a new generation of gamers to much older products that saw release many years ago, all in the hope of having the titles in question come back to prominence. In today's video then, we have a new game compilation from the company QUByte Interactive. It's called Accolade Sports Collection. The collection packages the sports titles that made the Accolade name famous before they went on to make Buzzbee, Test Drive and the Jack Nicklaus series of golf games. The question is simple: is this collection worth your time? What's included and how well does it work? I've never played the games before, making me the perfect target audience for this product. Let's get into it. Before we begin, I want to make a quick disclaimer about this video. QUByte Interactive reached out to me personally and provided the game key for the PlayStation 5 version of the collection that I'm looking at in this video. Despite the PlayStation 5 game key, this video is not sponsored. No money was exchanged, all thoughts and opinions are my own, and the company did not see my video ahead of the January 28th embargo being lifted. The game compilation will officially release on January 30th on PC via Steam, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles. With that, let's see if the collection is worth playing. When you start up the collection, we get a nice yet clean menu which screams retro at us. Nice 16-bit music plays in the background as we scroll through the games. We have 5 to pick from. They are Hardball, Hardball II, Summer Challenge, Winter Challenge, and Hoops, Shut Up and Jam. Before picking the games, the options menu has you covered with modern features expected from porting old games to new platforms. Save states, filters, background tiles, aspect ratios and remapping controls are here and accounted for. You even get tutorials if you feel help is required. I played all games using a black background and the pixel perfect mode, although as you can see, the options should satisfy most people who want a specific look to the games according to their tastes. You can also see what features each game has or whether it's 16-bit or not here. I believe all the included games besides Hardball II are the Sega Genesis versions of the titles. The version of Hardball II on this collection is the MS-DOS port. Now let's jump into the games, starting with Hardball. Of all the games mentioned, Hardball was frequently talked about, possibly because of its sales success in the 1980s and the fact it launched the company Accolade into mainstream success in later years. Hardball is a baseball game which was released on many older computers back in the 80s until this Sega Genesis port got released in 1991. The aim is to stop the batting players from scoring runs and catching them out as soon as possible when fielding, whereas batting players need to lap the field to score runs. The team with the highest amount of runs wins. I do believe this is called rounders in the United Kingdom. Slightly different bat sizes maybe, but otherwise the same rules. I'll admit the game takes a bit of time to get used to. As the batter, you hit square in my case to swing the bat and the D-pad to reposition yourself for a better chance to hit the ball. When you're fielding, the D-pad now changes to different throw types and directions the ball will travel in. Also, as a fielder, you'll have manual control over the person nearest to the ball and the D-pad controls which fielder receives a thrown ball. Once I got used to everything, the slightly arcadey approach made the title fun to play. I'm not going to say it was amazing though. The graphics get the job done, although the sound is a bit barren. There's hardly any sound effects most of the time, although the sound effects that do play are pretty decent quality. The music though gets annoying quickly. There's only one song and it loops every 1 minute or so. Turning it off really shows how little sound there is. It makes the stadiums feel empty. Despite some problems, Hardball is a decent baseball game, and once you get used to it, fun can definitely still be had here. I can definitely recommend this game, although be wary of what I've said before.
Right field. Out! Strike!
Hardball II. This MS-DOS port shows clear improvements right away. It has more graphical options, there's more music tracks, more sound effects, deeper gameplay mechanics, more options when fielding or batting, and improved simulation of the famous game. It sounds great, doesn't it? Only one slight problem: I was really bored by this game. It's not bad, just far too slow and lacks excitement. The first game was fast, decently fun, and had a lot going for it. This sequel is just so boring in comparison. Yes, for those of you watching this, if you are really into sports baseball games, this change of pace might actually suit you. For me, I just got fed up after 30 minutes. It doesn't help that the music isn't playing during the game, or that once again, sound effects are muted most of the time, creating an atmosphere of almost silence. It equally doesn't help that batting the ball is tougher than ever, while fielding is laughably easy compared to the first game. In this title, I always got the ball and I always got the other players out with no sweat. I would say try this game if you think it looks good and you like baseball simulation, but I'll personally skip this one. Try it with caution. Next up, Summer Challenge. This title has several Olympic games that all have their own rules, graphics, and gameplay styles. The Olympic sports featured here include kayak, archery, hurdles, equestrian, pole vault, high jump, javelin, and cycling. As you can tell, there's plenty of variety on offer here. I do enjoy Olympic games when they're done right, and thankfully I had a lot of fun trying out the different games. Yes, some of them run and play better than others, but even so, just trying them out and wanting to get better was something I strive to do. To me, the mark of a good game is one you want to keep trying over and over again. Well, that and the animations plus the sound effects are quite funny. I perhaps got too much of a kick failing the sports just to see what happens to the athlete in question. The graphics are not too bad, although the frame rate is low and the 3D graphics in some of the sports tank performance. Controls can be a bit sluggish and you have to plan your actions well. It's easy to mess up more often than succeed. You will manage with practice. I'll be damned, I like this game a lot. Without question, the surprise package of this compilation. Good thing 2-player modes are supported. Your close friends or family can join in the fun, or you can just shout at each other when one of you loses naturally. Certainly recommended.
Ready, set.
We also get a winter version called Winter Challenge. I'll be honest, I didn't like this one quite as much. Maybe it's my preference, but I wasn't so fond of the sports featured here. Like Summer Challenge, Winter Challenge offers several different sports. They include bobsled, giant slalom, loose, cross country, speed skating, biathlon, ski jump, and downhill. For me, some of the events are way too hard, such as giant slalom and ski jump, whereas bobsled and speed skating are too easy and just don't hold my interest as much as the summer version of this game. It has the same limitations with the graphics and overall performance. It might be worse actually, since more of the activities take place in wide open spaces and this is where you'll feel the slowdown. There is definitely fun to be had here and the animations still crack me up. The wipeouts are even more intense than before. 2-player support is a welcome feature, but again, I didn't find the package as compelling as Summer Challenge. You folks let me know which of the two you prefer. The final game in this compilation is Hoops, Shut Up and Jam. If that title doesn't scream Tood, I don't know what will. It's a 2-on-2 basketball game which sees you pairing up with a friend or a computer-controlled ally as you attempt to score more points than the opposition. Shooting, passing, tackling and defending will happen all in the blink of an eye. It's fast arcadey action and it is indeed fun. Look, compared to the NBA Jam titles, I'm sure most of you will agree this is not on the same level. Even so, I wouldn't write this game off. It has good sharp controls, good music, plenty of players to pick from, decent play areas and good graphics for the time. I enjoyed the title theme so much, I actually stopped playing for a bit, just to sit back and take in the tood. I imagine if you're really into this game, you'll want to try the tournament or league challenges which will keep you playing for some time. Don't forget the 2-player mode that will keep you and your friends or family engaged for even longer. This is a pretty good game and certainly worthy of the Accolade name. There we go folks, I hope this review of Accolade Sports Collection was helpful and has allowed you to decide for yourself if you feel this is worth looking into. As someone who has no nostalgia for the games included, I was pleasantly surprised with how well some of the games held up. My favourite by far was Summer Challenge. Plenty of events to try and many of them were still fun. Baseball 2 was disappointing in my opinion, although not a bad game all things considered. The other games in the collection will depend on your preferences and of course if the sports in question appeal to you. As for price, I believe this compilation will cost from £15 to £20. If true, that's a decent amount for what you get in return. I'll also note the company is discounting the game on their own website. The link to it is in the video description if you're interested. Before we go, you can see here the list of their current titles. I'm certainly interested in these games and I hope someday I can check them out. I do love a good beat 'em up or even a 2D fighting game. You folks let me know, what did you think of this title based on my review? Did you ever play the games back in the day? Which title was your favourite? Tell me in the comments. Thank you once again to QUByte Interactive for providing the review code and I will see you soon.